Hi, my name's Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. Okay, so I read a really interesting article about domestic abuse. Now, we're not talking about narcissists, no cluster Bs. We're talking about your garden variety abusive asshole. It said that recovery time will be 50% of the time you spent in the abusive relationship. So the math on that would be, if you spent 2 years in an abusive relationship with your garden variety asshole, you would be looking at a recovery time of about a year. Now, my God, that is not what we're seeing with narcissistic abuse. We're seeing people in 2-year relationships that are taking 10 years to recover. So this is very, very extreme. And I want to talk a bit about that today and how I feel I have really taken very positive steps towards recovery and healing from the abuse I experienced in the 5 years I was with Trevor. Now, though Captain Chaos seems to just walk away completely unscathed and onto a new victim, we end up, not by choice, but we end up having to cart a tremendous amount of baggage with us. Quite often people are physically ill. I was certainly physically ill. Diminished finances, destroyed careers. I mean, we talked about this stuff lots. An absolute state of mental confusion, disorientation, and utter insanity and noise going on in our heads. And quite often people are literally fleeing with nothing more than the clothes on their back. So we have to take a lot of that stuff with us. Though the narc just seems to sever us and move on, we end up carting an awful lot of bullshit. And I think that all of that becomes very, very detrimental in our healing. It's definitely a hurdle that we have to get over when you've got so much damage with you. I mean, it'd be different if we got to just, sever like they did and move on. But unfortunately, the harm was inflicted on us, and that harm goes with us. One of the things that was really, really difficult for me when I left, and I have been free and no contact now 7 months, but one was my physical health and my physical appearance. Now, right now, I'm probably at my average weight of 110 pounds, and I'm about 5'7". By the time I left Trevor, I was well under 90 pounds. I had big bags under my eyes from not sleeping. I visibly shook most of the time. I had developed a terrible stutter, and my skin was gray. I was an absolute wreck, and my God, did I have a nosebleed. I had a nosebleed at least 3 times a day. I wouldn't leave the house without a box of Kleenex, and that was a real problem for me, going out in public and things like that with this constant nosebleed. Now, the nosebleed, of course, would be directly related to, extreme stress and anxiety and things like that. So I was a horrible physical wreck. And I will tell you, one day I was in a grocery store, and there was a woman who came up in line behind me, and she had 2 little children. And the woman took one look at me. I was shaking. I was gray. I was thin. I had big bags under my eyes. I was pretty sick. I definitely was. I know exactly what I look like. I look like some kind of a street person or something. And I watched as this woman took her hand and pushed her children behind her to get between me and her children. It was very obvious what she was doing. It was very obvious to me what I had been reduced to. And I'll tell you, it absolutely broke my heart. When the checkout lady began to talk to me, I could barely speak. My chin was wobbling, and I grabbed my groceries and ran out of there and sat in my car and had quite a cry. Now, when I got back to my house that day, of course, I was in the process of moving from another province. I had boxes piled everywhere. My house had been boarded up for years, basically, and was completely abandoned. Everything had to be cleaned and painted, and it was really quite a shit show, and I was very sick, and I really, at that point, almost felt like just rolling over and dying. But I guess I just had enough. I guess that was it. That lady shifting those 2 little children behind her, for me, was really quite enough. And I decided at that point I needed to become active. Really, I saw it as a call for action. I guess I had this thought that if Trevor could actively fuck up my life every single day for 5 years. I mean, a day didn't pass that this man did not, at the very least, insult and humiliate me. And I mean, the very least, why couldn't I every day do something to take one step further away from it, to take one step back to who I used to be? And of course, I had completely lost my sense of self. I had just spent 5 years trying to fit into some unrealistic, delusional mold that, oh God. So, I think I kind of decided at that point, 7 months ago, that every day I was going to do something to get farther away from it and to become who I wanted to be and who I used to be. I think it was the decision more than anything to take my life back that really started to turn things around. My hair stopped falling out, and my God, my hair had been coming out in clumps. I started to be very, very cautious of what I ate, making sure that I was actually feeding my body the nutrients that it needed. That immediately got me sleeping better. And some days, I'd wake up and I was on fire and my hands weren't shaky and my nose didn't bleed, and I could accomplish a lot. And other days, I would wake up with night terrors and, wake up with a bleeding nose, and I'd be very scared and very disorientated. And that day, I still did something. And if that something was just ironing a single set of draperies and hanging them, or putting up a couple of paintings, just something. I did something every single day. And on a really strong day, I did a lot. And on, a lesser day, I did less, and I just didn't beat myself up about it. I'd just say, thank God today I had the strength to hang those bloody draperies, and maybe tomorrow it'll be better. But I figured, if somebody could actively damage my life every day, well, I could actively take a step every day to make things better. I mean, some days it was just making phone calls, trying to straighten out debt that he had incurred in my name. Just something every single day. And now 8 months later, I mean, I've put on 25 pounds. My hair is actually growing again. I can't remember the last time my hair fell out. In the last 6 months, I've had maybe one nosebleed. My hands don't shake at all anymore. I don't stutter anymore. I feel like I've come years in that 7 months, but that's because I locked on and became very determined. In addition to that, I think one of the biggest steps I took was reaching out. You guys know that I was just hoping, through those first videos that I made, that I would find one single person, just one other person on this planet that would understand what I've been through. The fact that the community is so large, I honest to God, I had no idea, and in a way it makes me very, very happy. In a way it really breaks my heart to think that there is almost like this zombie apocalypse of evil out there attacking people. But, thank God for you guys, and we've all learned so much, from each other. But I think in the end, nobody is coming to save us. We have to take the steps ourselves. That's why I know some days just getting the dishes washed for me, or simple things seem like such a challenge. And now, day by day, my momentum gets better. I get more focused, and everything's falling together. Now, I'm just going to add a couple of pictures of my little house here at the end and show you what I have been able to accomplish in 7 months. Now, keep in mind, this house was completely abandoned, not an appliance in it. My island is new, the bathroom's new, the flooring is new. I've really come a long way. And some days, I'll tell you, I did very little. At the time, it felt like all I could do, but in retrospect, it wasn't a lot, but it was something. And I felt, at least with small steps, I was still doing something to heal and regain my life and take my life back. I think that when I realized that I had been very actively and very systematically attacked and my life had been dismantled, I guess it was at that point I really realized that that really was a call for action and nobody was coming to save me and my life was going to be what I made it. And of course, through you guys and better understanding and acceptance, I was able to just muster up, well, a bit of anger. I got right fucking mad, I'll tell you that. And mad can get a floor laid. I've seen that myself. So my anger actually really did give me a kick in the pants that I needed to kind of jar me towards moving forward. And every single day, every day for 7 months, if it was something big or something small, every day I've done something to try and take my life back. And that's why you guys are here, because you're trying to understand, you're trying to come to terms with what happened, and you're all actively taking the steps to move forward. And your inspiration has been overwhelming. It really has been. I mean, what a great motivator you guys have been. I'm Kim. This is Kim Wilson TV. You know, some days aren't going to be big or great or huge or wonderful. Some days it may just be as simple as getting the dishes washed. But, you know, on those days, that too is an accomplishment. Thank you guys so much for being a part of my life. I love you guys lots.